Sorry. This is not a pejorative talk.
Sorry, that word, pejorative.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Deliberately designed to wind people up, you know, and provoke a response deliberately. I'm a nice person.
4 words in before you managed to do that. Pejorative is where you got to.
Okay. We all love perl 5. Some of us love perl 6. There are differences between perl 5 and perl 6. My contention is that we shouldn't be so curmudgeon-y. It's equivalent to saying, why do we all speak Elizabethan English at the minute? Times move on. There's a difference between Elizabethan English and current children's text speak. And what I'm going to say is both have their place, both are good, both are English. And I'm going to use some examples. Yeah, this just might wind some people up in different ways. I'm going to use some examples from Shakespeare. And this isn't. Oh, it is working. That's good. Yeah, okay, if you are expecting me to moan about the syntax of perl 6, I'm not, actually. And you're missing the point. And I'm not going to be a pedant either. Yeah, everything has its place. Everything is functional and has its own form. Is that the focus, or is it my eyes here? I was out a bit late last night. Sorry, okay. It's all about function and form. And really, this is about bits of the syntax that I find honestly what you're thinking, and bits that I go, yeah, I like this. So it's personal, what I like, what I don't. I don't care if you agree with me or not.
Good evening.
As an aside, about function and form, and this is, I'm going to go back to a dead language now. I'm not way before Elizabethan English. I want to take a slight sidetrack about hieroglyphics. Does anybody know how hieroglyphics works?
You did explain it yesterday.
Oh, use the microphone. Yes, I might have explained it to someone last night. This is 6,000-year-old golf, and it's awesome. You look at it, how can you possibly, I'm rolling in my perl 6 analogy so you can infer lots of things. How do you possibly read this? Or perl 5, you know, line noise, when it's complete line noise. How do you read it? How do you know where to start? But this one, I chose this one because it's a slight giveaway. It's got horizontal break lines. But do you read from left to right, up or down? The way to do this is you look at the little characters, little animals. Oh, I've got a pointer here. I don't need to go in front of this. Oh, whatever. If you look at the little bird, his beak is pointing to the right. We read from left to right. We follow the beak. But this was being done in stone, so it's a limited area. You know, page size of 64K or something. And so you get to say here, and you're about to run out of space. You go, oh no, what am I going to do? This is 2 more lines here. And you go across left to right. And once you've gone from there to there, you start at the bottom here, and you come across here. So you've got 2 more lines in here, and then you go back onto where we were. And you can change direction in the middle of a sentence. You can go backwards and go forwards. It's awesome. It's just, yeah, 6,000-year-old golf. If you've never looked into hieroglyphics, I highly recommend it. It'll help you golf. It really will, sorry. And it will help you golf. It really will. Anyway, that's aside. My next point is, I had a slide with DVDs for sale with an apostrophe. And this goes back into the same thing. I can guarantee in an audience like this, most people are probably pedants about apostrophes. Don't be. I find that very, very smug and irritating. Not everybody knows how an apostrophe works. I don't understand how some of perl 6 works. So I might have apostrophes in the places that they shouldn't be, and this is me trying to say, sorry. Okay. Right, so anyway, for comedy purposes, in case you haven't realized, let's look at some of the syntax.
It is a truth universally acknowledged that any language with mature syntax is in need of a rewrite.
I am not a big fan of Austen. I'm quite happy to misquote her. I find it very smug, middle class, and there were better women that we could put out. For the UK, she's going on the £10 note. There are better women. Jocelyn Bell, I would put on, but that's me. Okay. I don't know if anybody has ever called, excuse me, perl syntax mature. Rich, maybe. I'm not sure they've ever called it mature. But Look, computer languages aren't natural languages. No matter how many DSLs you try to write, it's just not. It is a computer language, and perl 6 is not a rewrite of profile. At least I hope it isn't. That's not what we want. The original Shakespeare quote on this was, shall I compare my mistress to on a summer's day? And I was going to go, oh, comparing perl 5 to perl 6 isn't so much like comparing my mistress to a summer's day as comparing one of the classic icons to what people do these days. But that is too snibby even for me. Sorry, sir. We'll ignore that one. Okay, let's have some more evidence.
To be or not to be, that is the question.
This one offends me. I'm sorry, I have to say it. Why would why do you double these things up? Why do you change the code? I don't know. Am I just being old? Every other language has a ternary. This ternary, I'm not convinced. And I think the Prince of Denmark would. What would he do? And I'm quite glad it was to be or not to be, because then I get this. Bling, bling, bling. And my eyes can't parse that. To be fair, I didn't make a lot of this stuff up. It came from the perl 6 FAQ. Not Shakespeare, obviously. And I have to say, I was not overly convinced by perl 6, but reading the FAQ it actually did please me. But this didn't. I'm sorry. Three things? Maybe I should have used not as a word. But I didn't want to, because then I don't get three exclamation points. I know, that's just so wrong. Yeah, I'm making jokes, I'll set it up. So I've got, through my slides, I have memes in between every other one. I'm not going to explain them. I'm too old to like memes, but I have to say I do. And the Goosebumps one is one of my favourite ones. That's just so joyful, isn't it? I mean, she's just so happy to have. I thought they were books, but I think I've taken one with potato, which pleases me as well. Anyway, yeah, stereotypes.
That's a cultural thing.
Yeah, I do like my potatoes. Okay, anyway, I want to go back to the Prince of Denmark. Go on.
To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against the sea's troubles and by opposing end them?
Yeah, so let's try nesting it. Does it look any better? At least, maybe, I don't know. Stylistically, I like the way this lines up. It's nice, we're used to it. Doubling them up, I don't know. I'm just glad the and operator hasn't doubled up, so I had and, ampersand, 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 or something like this. Oh, and that's easy ugly for me to put on the screen. I didn't want to do that. Whenever we do get perl 6, and we're all good people now, we all write our tests, and we all do our code reviews, how much fun are we going to have the first time we do a perl 6 code review? Do you know, bizarrely, this is one of the things I am really looking forward to. Because it's going to be Wild West days again. Nobody's going to know, yeah, that's the right way to do it. Yes, there's more than one way to do it, but is that the way that we want to do it? I don't know yet. Maybe we'll wait 5 years and then we'll go back and say, oh, no, you don't want to do that. But I hate to say that this might be the best trolling opportunity I've had in years. And it is just going to get, and the same as Ermagerd, I like Grumpy Cat, because I guess I'm getting to that age.
To die, to sleep.
I'll give you this one. I mean, I don't know what, 10 years ago when I was on the mailing list, and I think there was about a 5-year fight about infix versus dot. Maybe if we hadn't had that fight, we'd be further along. I don't know.
I don't think you get there after a die.
Which die do you think it is? You come back as a ghost. This is Hamlet. I don't know. I have to say, much as I keep like my memes and stuff, I do not like zombies. Too popular. I'm too hip for that. Sorry. I liked zombies before they were cool in the 70s with George Romero. Okay. I've been told. I thought this was Game of Thrones. This guy, but apparently it's not. It's Lord of the Rings. I don't like either. I get to say, now I did enjoy the lightning talk about the doors of whatever it was, but I tried coping as a child and that scarred me. I'm afraid, sorry. Okay, the reason for this one.
No more, and by a sleep the same we end the heartache and 1,000 natural shocks the flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished to die, to sleep.
This reminds me too much of Ruby. I have an aversion to Ruby. I like Ruby. I spent a year at a Ruby shop, but it always came across as a toy language to me. And the way going into the deeper recesses of my mind, let's start with Perl 5. For my dollar shop. Aha, I know what we're doing. Fine. On the right-hand side, for 1,2000. Aha, I know what we're doing. We've got a dollar underscore here. Why did you name your loop variable? You didn't want to. Oh, we've got an infix. Right, okay. And we've got a shock after our infix. And it wasn't quite a shock, I have to say. The thing with this is it's anticipation, and I think this sums up all of Perl 6. All anticipation. You don't know what happened in the start of the line. From 1 to 1,000. Awesome. Oh, something different's happened. Ah, you have to wait to the end. I like it though, I have to say. I can't really be snippy about this one. It is more that I don't know what's happening. Now, yes, people tell me the same thing because I'm a great fan of postfixing if, and I might be old-fashioned, but I like do as well. And I don't know what happens if you die in the middle of that. But once your eyes get used to it, actually, I like this. This is part of when txtspk has its place, and I like that. That is nice. Anticipation, yeah, best things come to those who wait, or something. And if you're following the quotes, you may notice that I'm not actually doing anything with those 1,000 natural shocks, but I blame Ophelia and her heartache. Yeah, okay. This was one of the first slides that I produced, and I also like the fry name, so I'll leave it there. Yeah. It's not really. I'm going to have to qualify everything I say now, aren't I?
I'm not sleeping. To sleep, perchance to dream. Hey, there's the robin.
Again, like the not really anonymous stuff that we had last time, I like this. We need name parameters and stuff like that. And I like the whole method signature thing. If you were standing in the method signatures talk yesterday, it was hilarious. We got to talk and somebody at the end says, no, don't do that, that sucks, use mine. And that's awesome. Why not? I mean, optional parameters, positional parameters, defaults, all this stuff is good. And because I have 3 things that I like in the syntax of Perl 6, I did think about moving away from Comic Sans for the Perl 6 stuff, but I like that as a joke. That appealed to me as well. Sorry. This slide was originally going to be about smart matching, but then I was talking to several people about smart matching and they beat me down and wore me down and stuff like that. Mr. Worthington gave a talk yesterday on async, and I need that. I need that right now. That was so awesome. That's the sort of stuff that we need. Of course, time's moved on and languages have moved on, and we know features that everybody else has that we can quite happily steal. And Perl 6, given the time, has given us enough time to steal all the best features that everybody else has. But async stuff, you put that. It was the first time that I saw something that I thought, actually, if I got back to work and I ran that VM and I had a bit of this, I could sneak some of it into production. Yeah, and then everything blows up and something bad would happen, I wouldn't be able to debug it and I'd get pulled off. But I hear everybody's hiring here, so I can find myself another job.
Oh, we are too.
Yeah, yes, we're hiring. And yeah, if you want to come and do cool stuff and show us cool stuff, there's, you're not wearing a t-shirt. Mike's wearing a t-shirt. Is Mike in the room? Yeah, Mike's there as well. He's got a t-shirt on. There's no advertisement, sorry. But reading all this stuff, it's got me enthusiastic again. And even just reading the FAQ, and then I come to here, and I haven't had my mind changed, but I'm quite excited again. But I spent many years as a compiler engineer And that's also interesting.
Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him.
Yeah.
Is this a forum?
Sorry?
Is this a forum?
Oh, go ahead, yes.
Should I worry?
Well, no, I should know, because of course this is Mark Anthony giving the speech, and it was a bit of a restless
You want the last word?
I'm going to let it go.
Of course, Mark Anthony was giving his speech to a hostile audience. The readers were quite restless. I'm hoping Shakespeare does translate, and everybody, even across the world, is forced to do Shakespeare, and are getting some of the more subtle inferences that I've ignored from my slides. Okay, he was talking to at the forum. I almost said forum, but wrong place. He was talking to a subset of the people, which isn't a junction, I know. I've read documentation that says junctions aren't sets, but I also love junctions. And it takes me back to 1999, 2000, I think, when somebody first introduced me to a hash slice. And of course, every problem then that I had was solved with a hash slice. And I said, oh, 2 maps of red, that's so 1998, not doing that anymore. And it was awesome, and junctions are the same sort of thing. This is such a cool idea, and my mind goes on with that, how can I misuse this entirely everywhere and get it through my code view because nobody will know what to do. It's really good. So, I did have this in Pro 5. I'm going to be a bad Pro community person. I never looked at the CPAN to see if there's a Pro 5 implementation of it. I wrote 4 or 5 myself to try and get the same thing, but it was a lot more wordy than that, because there's a difference between Elizabethan English and text speak. Okay, thanks, bye. Is that sort of stuff. So it's not all bad.
Can I use that as an official slogan? It's not all bad.
Yes, yeah. Yes. Yeah, so given the whole community of let's all be success hits, yeah? I mean, or let's let the kids who will actually get Pro 6 be a success. I'm not sure which way to play that one.
Did you know that kid is actually eating sand?
Yes, I do. Sadly, I do. But I also recommend if you haven't, wrong demographic, but if you haven't read the Pro 6 FAQ, I highly recommend it. It's not as dull as it sounds. And having read many language specs, I'm waiting for the final language spec, because that keeps me happy, that sort of stuff as well.
The evil that men do lives after them. The good is oft interred with their bones. So let it be with Caesar.
I had to be very careful using quotes from Julius Caesar, because I don't wish to make any allusions. And some of the later ones aren't allusions. I'll say we'll get to a couple more Caesar and yeah, no, it's not like that at all. This one here, and as people are shouting, I have no idea how the garbage collection stuff works for Pro 6. I had a quick look online and I couldn't really find much. It worries me that things are going to be running on a virtual machine, especially when somebody says the JVM. And then I read another thing that we can't have global variables. Is this true? I don't know. I read lots of stuff about it. Courses for courses. I'd be very surprised if you couldn't. And
It's just use strict default.
oh, really? Yeah. I remember Dominus gave a good talk years ago about, yeah, you should never use strict and warnings as default. Yeah, we all know what Dominus is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you look at the talk schedule, it all seems to be DevOpsy sort of stuff, but Puppet and Chef are both Ruby, aren't they? That's not good. But yes, again, I'm being pejorative. Because it still seems as a sysadmin tool. And for my sins, I still use it like that as well, because it's really handy. And I'm hoping Pro 6 I can do exactly the same thing. But none of the examples I've seen quite get up to that. Oh, here we go, I'm going to get a bit longer. Switching plays again as well.
Barton's right, go ahead.
The what? Sorry.
Is this the dagger which I see before me? The handle toward my hand, come, let me clutch thee. I have thee not, and yet I see thee still. Art thou not fatal vision, sensible to feeling as to sight, or art thou but a dagger of my mind, a false creation, proceeding from that heart-oppressed brain? I see thee yet in form as palpable music, palpable, as this which I now draw. Thou marshalst me the way that I was going, and such an instrument I was to see, to use.
I'm out of time, so I'm going to flick through these quickly, and you can infer whatever you want from them.
Exactly so. Yes, this is when I start to say, no, Caesar is not any sort of allegory whatsoever. And that's not about Caesar either. I'm going to say this quickly. Yes, I've been told, oh, yeah, yak, you know nothing, Pro6 is great, why are you telling me this? Oh, you're so unconstructive. I have got a plan for my talk for next year. I rejoined the Pro5 Quarters list again. I went on to the IRC channel, and I'm going to give up some of my time to try and help Pro5 make Pro6 and see how it goes. I don't spend my evenings hacking, so I spend most of my evenings looking at the sky. So I'm going to give up some of that. Am I going to eat everybody else's dog food or something like that? And I'm not just going to be unconstructive, I'm actually going to help out. Yeah, so I'm going to do that. Let's see. I'll just go through the rest of them.
1 second, so apologies.
Oh, that noise. Yeah. It's another one of my favorite ones. I like him. Yeah, we'll switch sides again. Yeah, I also had, as opposed to Caesar jokes, I had we are the 1%, not the 99%. And we're occupied with something straight. Final slide. I also like George Carlin. And so this is what I'm hoping from our transition to Pro5 to Pro6. It's been 13 years. If anybody's got any 13-year-old or had 13-year-old children, that's an awkward time. I've had 3 of them go through that. And all of mine obviously turned into beautiful butterflies, and the same thing will happen for Pro6. I know it will. Thank you.